Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of the broadcast. I'm your host, Josh Reeves. This is the Wednesday, May 15th, 2019 edition of the broadcast. Here with you yet again for another show tonight. Glad you could be with me. I've got a big stack of news and stuff that's been stacking up here for weeks, so that's what I'll be doing here tonight, is do my best to get into all that for you on the broadcast here, as much of it as I can. Hopefully there's a lot of crazy shit to talk about, so I'll be doing my best to get into all that for you here tonight on the show. Thank you again for being here with me. I was overwhelmed with the response from yesterday's show, I got to tell you. There was, I've gotten about, 20 messages just since that show went up. I started getting them almost immediately after it went up. Apparently this Tulsi Gabbard woman that I discussed last night on the show, I hit a nerve with a lot of people because, as I said, I could see a lot of people being suckered in by her. And, just for it to be yet another candidate, we saw what happened with Trump and Jones and all that. Now for this, this candidate to be being rolled out by Rogan. I mean, none of this stuff is coincidence. It's right in line with everything I've been telling you for a long time, but I got a lot of messages from people saying stuff like, hey, I was going to support her. I was going to vote for her. Not anymore. I mean, I got a lot of messages, like 20 messages from people like that. So there you go. I'm glad I was right on time again with that information. I had one email from one of our listeners I wanted to read for you here that I thought was interesting. And he says, just finished watching your latest show. What you had to say about Tulsi Gabbard blew my mind. You're right. I've been watching her for a while now. She is dangerous. I call her the greatest Trojan horse we've seen so far. She's that good and that bad. I actually managed to meet her about 3 months ago. I live in Vegas. I'm a musician, and she appeared at the restaurant where I perform. I'd say she's a lesbian, even though she's been married twice. I hung out with her and I hung out with her husband for a while. He's in charge of her photography and video. When I finally met Tulsi, I managed to exchange a couple of words with her. Your extreme suspicions about her are amazing because there's something else. I've met this chick up close and personal. And I'm telling you, there's something deeply off about her. I've been thinking about her a lot. She's scary. It's hard to explain. I got a theory, but it's so fucking crazy. Well, listen, bud. You come on. You listen to my show. Everybody talks about, we need a safe space and need a safe. Listen, if there's ever a safe space for you to talk about fucking crazy shit, this would be the place, bud. You know what I'm saying? Hit me with it. If it's too crazy for me, I'll tell you. But no, I'd be listen. Nothing's out of bounds here. I get it though. I mean, listen, I go through that all the time. You don't think that all the time there's information that I come across? It's happened a lot. It's happened pretty much the whole time I think I've been doing this, at least the whole time I've been on air for the past almost going on 12 years here. Believe me, I mean, if there's anything I can relate to, I can relate to that. But see, again, I've talked about this many times. That sort of instinct like that you have where you're like, fuck, man. I got a lot pointing in this direction, but it's so fucking crazy sounding. I'm afraid to say it because people are going to think I'm nuts. Believe me, dude. If there's anything I can relate to, it's that. That's the story of my life right there. When I first found out about the Council for National Policy stuff and started seeing the connections and really understanding what it meant, believe me, I was hesitant to bring it out. But I only hesitated about... You got to remember, I found out about this shit on a Thursday, the first week I ever did shows. And then it set my brain on fire. And that very weekend, when I first hear about the CMP, and just a couple of days before, there was no news articles about it. And then 2 days later on that weekend, as I'm doing the research, a story comes out about Dick Cheney. Dick Cheney attends private meeting of secretive right-wing group. This was in September 2007. Very first week I started my show, the very first week I found out about the CMP. And there I was going, oh, holy fuck, it's all these people I'd seen heard on Jones before, and it just seemed too crazy. Believe me, I mean, it happens to me all the time. We're like, oh man, and there's a lot of shit I've had to go through that. You wouldn't believe how many times I've had to go through that in all stages of my research, but you really wouldn't believe how many times I've had to go through that recently while working on the Spellcasters 2 and 3. I mean, there's some shit in here in these films that where you're going to go, oh, there, no fucking way. I mean, it is that sensational and that unbelievable. And that's exactly what I was talking about yesterday about why, I don't get why certain people have to try and over sensationalize this shit. If you're really on to the truth, it's going to sensationalize itself. That's the bottom line. But I get what you're saying. So he says, I've got a theory, but it's so fucking crazy, but I don't think she's real. There's something synthetic about her, genuinely synthetic. So that's my 2 cents, and you're right, she's going to be a major player. I knew it years ago when she met with Assad and caught flack about it. She was being groomed and set up back then. She's the one to watch, but what if she really is a skin job? Ha ha ha. Well, and I, as I responded back to this person and told him, I had that same, listen, if that's interesting, isn't it? That's very interesting. This is a guy that met her up close. And it's interesting because you remember last year when another individual went on Joe Rogan's show, purporting to be another individual, I believe. And listen, I said the same thing when I talked about that. It's going to sound nuts. It's going to sound crazy, but it's interesting because that would be 2 people like that have been on Rogan's show recently. I told you from the very beginning, the day after that show aired with Elon Musk, I don't believe I do not believe, I've seen other stuff with Elon Musk. I do not believe the person that was in that studio with Joe Rogan that day was the real Elon Musk. I think that was some sort of, like you said, a skin job, but some sort of android, some sort of, I absolutely think it was. I don't believe that was really him. Watch it again. If you haven't seen that interview with Elon Musk and Joe Rogan, watch it again with that in mind. With the mindset that this is some sort of replicant Elon Musk. I'm not kidding you. You can see you can see it processing stuff. And processing responses, you can see, it's just insane. That thing that was on with Joe Rogan was not the real Elon Musk. And I think it might come out years from now. They're going to be like, hey, look, this stuff's been so good for so long. Look at this. This is from 2018. I sent in this replicant of mine to do this interview, and people didn't even catch it. But here's the thing. Here's the other crazy. Here's the thing that's the most crazy about this. The craziest thing about it is that 98 or 99, I don't know exactly what the figure, I'm just speculating here what the numbers are, but I would say my estimation, probably 98% or 99% of the world does not believe that our technology or that there is technology on this planet to that level yet. And I'm telling you that there is, and it's been here for a long time. I mean, we know, again, I've talked about this many times, you can even go back and study. Look at the stuff the Nazis had, man. All this advanced technology we still haven't caught up with or have yet. Or at least it's not been brought to the general public. Technology is always 20 to 30 years ahead of what the general public knows. It's a common fact. So there's no question. There are androids, human-like androids walking around out there. Absolutely, there are. There are clones walking around. They're all that stuff. If you can dream it, it exists. And it's just, it's crazy, unbelievable. I went back and watched some more of Joe Rogan thing after he said that. And it's interesting because I didn't catch it. I wasn't really paying attention, to be honest with you. I mean, I had it on. It was for research purposes. The only reason I pay attention to anything that clown does anyway. Have y'all noticed that Jones? I've noticed that Jones has backed off. Like, he doesn't have a lot of those CMP type guests and stuff on anymore. It's been that way for a while, but I mean, it's been 4 or 5 years, but it seems like he's backed off a lot of stuff. I can definitely tell when I listen to him in interviews and stuff. Sometimes I hear him talking. I hear him say certain things. There's been a couple of things he said, which I know word for word were my information. So, but I mean, that's nothing new. Jones has actually had people monitoring my show and monitoring my broadcast pretty much since the very beginning. And there was a guy that used to be on, I can't remember his name now, but he was on one of the networks I was on when I first started out. And he was a board op at, a board op is a person who runs the control board and stuff for radio shows and stuff. And he did a radio show on this network I used to be on, and he was a board op at GCN, and he did Jones's show. And I remember him sending me messages and stuff a bunch of times telling me that I was, hurting his financial ability to feed his family by exposing Jones, and I needed to stop and all this shit. Man, I've been that was like 2007 or 2008, Yeah, those motherfuckers have been monitoring me forever. I got to move fast. I got a ton of shit here. I don't want to stay bogged down in one story too long here tonight, so I'm going to keep on trucking here. Here's another thing, I've heard people say a lot is stuff like, when they're talking about whether it be YouTube or Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and the CIA doesn't have time to sit around and look at stuff people are putting on YouTube or Facebook. And, I mean, that's just categorically not true. It comes from a place of ignorance. I mean, listen to this. This is this article, Inside the Secret World of the CIA Social Media Team. A government agency known for its secrecy is making a splash in a very public forum, Twitter. The Central Intelligence Agency has been raising eyebrows with its increasingly conversational and pop culture-filled social media presence in recent months, giving shout-outs to hit Hollywood films, game show hosts, and other buzzy bits. What game show host did they give a shout-out to? That's interesting, because that goes right back to the Chuck Barris thing. Chuck Barris was a CIA hitman. You've seen that movie, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. And just like last week, the agency added an Instagram account to its growing social shop. We're trying to be as transparent as possible with the constraints that the CIA currently has, right? Tweeting to the world isn't exactly cloak and dagger, and the aim for a public face is an undertaking that has unique quirks at one of the most secure places on the planet. But when we wanted to know how the social media sausage was made, to our surprise, Barrett invited us to Langley, Virginia, to speak with some of the secretive squad about how the CIA gets its message out online. I can't remember what show it was, but there was a show a couple of shows ago. I can't remember what it was. I think it was one of the shows he did last week. I can't remember what show it was. And this that Joe Rogan did. And the subject of microchips came up. And Joe said that he has a microchip and that he went to Langley, Virginia to get the microchip. But he said it in a way where, like, you could tell when I'm sure most people, 99% of his brain dead, washed fans are going to be saying, oh, he was just joking. That's an assumption to say that he's joking. You look at the way he says it. You can tell when Joe says something and he's kidding around. He never said, oh, I'm just kidding about that. But he kind of phrased it in a way where the guest or whatever probably assumed that he was just joking around. But that really caught my attention. I'm like, okay, well, there's more. Where's the fucking CIA located? Langley, Virginia. You can tell me that some UFC podcast dude's just going to go to Langley, Virginia to get a microchip from the CIA for no reason? Come on. After leaving all electronic devices in the car, nothing, not even a Fitbit, is allowed in its headquarters. ITK prepared to meet a hush-hush band of CIA social media mavens and maestros, rather than a tight-lipped team decked out in trench coats and sunglasses. What we found was a rather ordinary crew Yeah, I mean, this is a shill story all the way. All those accounts, I mean, those things are just there. It's a part of the ongoing psychological warfare. I suspect they haven't really started to use these accounts for the psychological warfare that they will begin to use them for, but it also is a way for them to be able to monitor certain people by having open accounts. And listen, these low-level people doing that shit are not, everything's compartmentalized. I'm not going to waste too much time talking about that, but I hate when they do these articles and they give you 2 words and then it says, oh, you have to continue to the article on another fucking page. Oh, it's such bullshit. Stop it. Gravitational waves keep rolling past Earth. When new cosmic ripples are detected, astronomers leap into action to try to locate their source. See, I don't read some of these, pre-read these articles all the time. Some of them I do. I'm not going to sit here and read this. This is bullshit. I thought it was going to be something cool. Yeah. Gravitational waves roll past Earth, but they don't give us, any information. This is hilarious. Now, this is fucking funny. This is a funny one here. We don't get too many funny articles, but I always like to highlight the funny ones like we did with the I eat ass guy. Let me be clear about something, though. Because I think everybody thought this was a joke. I was, because, I make jokes all the time, whatever. But listen, I was dead serious about the whole Gangsta Grill thing. Y'all think I was joking around about that? No, he's being funny. I was actually being 100% totally serious. Have we got anybody out there in the listening audience that makes grills or knows anybody that makes gangster grills? I'm not kidding you. If somebody out there can make me a grill, I will wear that motherfucker and do videos of it and put it up on YouTube, and I'll give shout outs to your company or whatever that makes the grills. I'm not serious. Contact me, globalrealityshow@gmail.com. You make grills or know somebody that does, hit me up. I'll give you company. I'll give you regular plugs on the show, and in exchange for you got to make me a grill. And then I'll do videos wearing that grill. I'm not kidding you. I was not joking around about that. I was being 100% serious. I knew I needed to clarify that. But I think we found a match. I think we found somebody we can hook old I eat ass guy up with. Woman arrested at the CIA headquarters after citing unusual code name. This is fucking hilarious. A North Carolina woman was arrested after trying 4 separate times to sneak into the Central Intelligence Agency headquarters in Langley, Virginia. A criminal complaint described the unusual incident. Quote, upon arrival, the defendant provided her Iowa identification card, requested to recover her North Carolina identification card, and requested to speak to Agent Penis. Agent Penis. After a review of the records, Officer Mirko Pena determined that, quote, CIA police officers had encountered the defendant on several recent occasions and had cited her for trespassing on the prior evening. Officers then warned the defendant that if she did not depart the premises, she would be arrested. The defendant declined to board the bus and stated that I'm not leaving. Officers thereupon arrested the defendant for remaining on an agency installation after being ordered to leave. What I don't get, though, we need some clarification here. Because the article makes it sound like she was looking for an agent named Penis or a last name Penis. I'm looking for Agent Penis, but could it be, could this be something that gets lost in print media? Maybe she was looking for Agent Penis instead of Agent Penis. You see what I'm saying? See the difference? Agent Penis would be an agent who is named Penis, but Agent Penis would be penis belonging to an agent. So we need some clarification here to see what she was after. Yeah, she might have been batshit crazy. Maybe she was legitimately looking for some penis. Or, maybe she was looking for George Bush Sr. I don't know, Ma'am, we're sorry. George Bush, Poppy Bush no longer works for the CIA. He's dead. Can you imagine if you were in the CIA? And you're all excited to get your code name or whatever. And they're like, all right, your code name is Penis. Like, what the fuck, dude? Really? Well, I gotta be Mr. Pink because you're a fucking faggot, that's why. That Reservoir Dogs? Seriously, you imagine going through all that training, all that work, you finally get to Laney, Virginia, get your badge. Okay, what's my code name gonna be? Is it gonna be something cool? I got 10 guys on the job. Everybody wants to be Mr. Black. You're Mr. Pink. Agent Penis or Agent Penis. I think Agent Penis Woman and the I Eat Ass guy should be hooked up and we make a reality show out of it and make millions of dollars. I think it would be a hit. Seriously, Agent Penis Woman and the I Eat Ass guy tag teamed up for a fucking, we'll put him in wacky situations and he'll walk him around with his I Eat Ass shirt on and have her just walking around randomly asking people for Agent Penis. Man, that would be a hit fucking show. I'm telling you, somebody holler at me. Let's greenlight this thing. Somebody get Netflix on the horn. They greenlight everything. Netflix will throw $1 million behind that shit tomorrow. I guarantee it. Listen, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna match up this I Eat Ass guy with this chick that's looking for Agent Penis. We're gonna put their wacky exploits on film and show it to the masses. What do you think? A sorcerer promised to help people find love. Instead, he orchestrated a witchcraft extortion scheme. Wow. That's a fucking headline right there. That's up there with Weird Al and fucking UHF, isn't it? Nazi lesbian hookers abducted by UFOs and forced into weight loss programs. That's up there with that. The love ritual began with candles, alcohol, vegetables, and photographs, all carefully. I don't even have to read this to know where this is going. And I gotta be honest with you, that's kind of why I've never got into some of this stuff. I mean, I don't know. I've thought about doing tarot card reading stuff for people before, but like, it's just, people are too wacky and too socially unstable, mentally unstable rather. And like, that's why I quit. I used to do tarot card reading stuff for people, I don't know, 15 years ago, 20 years ago. I quit doing them, but just strictly because mine are usually scarily accurate, the ones that I do. And it just comes with too many repercussions, man. Because then people, oh, it's your fault if I wouldn't have done that tarot reading, blah blah. They want to assign blame. So, I mean, again, I don't even know what this article is going to be about yet. I hadn't even got here, but to me, it sounds like, some dingbat actually believed this guy could help her find love by using, witchcraft or spells or something. He saw an easy mark and, I think it's bigger than that. Okay. Let's just see what it says is going on with this. Clients were told to send photos and videos of themselves reciting graphic statements and performing sex acts to a Paraguayan business specializing in witchcraft to finish the magic spell aimed at finding a soulmate. I thought this was just like one guy doing this to one person. Okay. So this is much bigger than that. This is like, this is done on all right. I thought this was just some guy, there's a lot of those hucksters out there. I thought this was just some huckster taking some, Momo for a fucking ride and taking her money. Now, these motherfuckers was doing this shit like on a grand scale. And what the fuck kind of shit is that? See, here, in order for us to do this spell, we need you to send us photos and videos of you jerking off and sucking off donkeys and shit, and then that'll make the magic work. That is fucking hilarious. That's when a self-described sorcerer started another familiar rite, extortion. Ariel Boito, a Argentine national who masterminded an international scheme that entangled an estimated 200 victims in at least 12 countries, threatened to post photos and videos of oh shit. So that's what he did, huh? So he that's fucking hilarious. Terrible, but hilarious. So basically what he got him to do is he got him to believe that having pictures and video of them performing lewd sex acts was a part of the love ritual to help him find a soulmate. And then after he got the fucking pictures, then he said, wrong. Guess what, bucko? You ain't getting shit. I want 50 grand right now. I'm going to send this picture of you sucking off a donkey to your grandma right now. Give it to me. That's fucked up. At the same time, though, I mean, there's a picture of this guy. Is this him? That's wild. Yeah, man. Listen, just as a general rule, if you go to someone for a service they provide, and said service at any point includes you doing sexual acts on video or in pictures, in order for his services to be rendered, I'd say that's a big red flag, Buck. I mean, that's listen, that's fucked up, but still. Y'all didn't have red flags going off? Well, we didn't know. We just thought he was a professional witchcraft doctor, and he told us what we had to do to find love for these spells to work, so I sucked off a donkey on video. And then he threatened to send it to my grandma. D.C. area radio station told to register as Russian agent. Oh, fuck. Here we go again. I got to tell you, I always know when I'm on to something big. And as I said earlier, it's kind of been that way in different various forms throughout the whole time I've been doing this. But I always know, because that's why they hate me so much. The reason why, and not just the powers that be and stuff like that, but other people out there who try to push these bullshit agendas and phony conspiracy topics, the reason they hate me as much, if not more, as the powers that be, is because I don't go along to get along, and I don't go along with these, whatever these accepted boundaries are. The owner of a Washington, D.C. area radio station that broadcasts Sputnik International 24/7 has been ordered to register his Florida-based broadcasting company as a Russian federal agent. WTOP-FM reports Judge Robin Rosenberg ruled Tuesday that RM Broadcasting must register with the U.S. government. RM and a Russian government-owned news agency agreed in 2017 that the station would broadcast the agency's communications continuously without edit until 2021. Federal agents told RM in 2018 the station was acting as a publicity agent for the Russian agency. It said RM would need to register as a foreign principal under the Foreign Agents Registration Act of 1938, originally adopted to fight Nazi propaganda. RM asked the court to rule on the matter, arguing that it only buys and sells airtime. And that's all they say in this article. That's interesting. So yesterday we talked about Russia Today has their goddamn headquarters 2 blocks from the fucking White House. And now we find out we've got actual Russian propaganda radio broadcasting in the United States. Again, this is they've been pissed off at me for years. I've been talking about this Russia stuff and bringing up this Russia stuff for a long time. There's many of my listeners, I thank you, who've been out there for a long time that backed me up on this. I've been talking about this long before Trump and all the rest of these guys, and talking about the real. Go look at that picture. You've probably seen that video clip. You ever seen that video clip of Reagan and Gorbachev in the 1980s, where they give each other the Masonic hand grip? Man, it's all a joke. Wars are only done for resources and for the ability to obtain ancient archaeological sites to keep their information suppressed in them. There's no such thing. If 2 countries go to war in the modern day, you got to understand it's all a facade. It's for those weapons manufacturers, look, they they love making weapons and they always have plenty of customers, but they like it even better when their products are actually getting used so they can sell more of them. So quit buying into all this phony. There's no such thing as any left or right political party. They're all the same. There's no such thing as one country versus this country. It's all the same. And that's what pisses me off about all this, this bullshit, the immigration stuff. There's no such thing as borders and everything. It's all imaginary lines that are set up for us, the slaves, to follow. If they want to have an open world government and open the rest of this, then, they need to, I think, anyway, if we're already going to be under this global tyranny, then they should just open up all borders everywhere, do away with all borders everywhere. You and I, if we want to go to fucking Canada or we want to go anywhere, we should be free to go there without any fucking passports or pay us, please, or any of that bullshit. The only reason any of those things still exist is because they exist for the benefit of the politicians and the leaders and for the detriment of the slaves. It's just the way that they keep us, the slaves, in line. That's all these things are. Borders and allies and enemies and all that shit really don't exist anymore between world powers. It's just a facade and a lie. And that's why they want to go after any of these countries that don't have world banks. Look at where all the wars have happened at over the past 20 years. Look at where they're telling us wars are going to happen at. Then go look at the fucking list of countries that don't have world banks. And then you'll have your answer and know what's going on. Jeff Bezos has plans to extract the moon's water. So coming soon to Amazon.com, moon water. You'll be able to get prime shipping on that, I'm sure. Between the shipping and handling, the web servers, the groceries, and the newspapers, Jeff Bezos has never stopped thinking about the moon. He was 5 years old when Americans first walked on the lunar surface. A lot of moon stuff in the news lately. A lot of moon. Something's going on that front. I think that they're trying to listen, I talked about this not long ago. They know full well that you can't get past the Van Allen radiation belts, and the stuff that's coming is all this stuff now where they're going to be figuring out new ways to fake this stuff to make people believe what's going on. That's what's happening. Oh, this is just bullshit. Where's the part about him wanting to get the water from the moon? All this is just talking about is his new lander and all that shit, which is another, it looks like not much different than the old bullshit things they sold us on. It's made out of fucking sheet metal and fucking PVC pipe. And it's just all fake bullshit. Where's the part about wanting to go get the water? I'm sitting here scrolling this whole article. I don't see anything in here about him talking about wanting to get the water from the moon. Nothing. That's what the title of the article is. There's nothing in the goddamn article that says anything about him wanting to get the water from the fucking moon. Why did you title the fucking article that then, you idiots? Jesus. This dry shit drives me nuts. The only thing I see here says anything about the water says in the vision he laid out, Bezos went beyond the moon. Earth's resources, he warned, are finite. Someday they'll be depleted and humankind will be forced to look for other homes. That's it. Nothing in there about how they're going to get the water. I don't know why I fucking bother sometimes. These fucking news stories, man. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. But listen to this. And tell me this doesn't set your spider sense of tingling as far as something, them planning something new going on with the moon. This is interesting. Because, when you know what we know about the moon landing, and it was, at least what we were shown was shot in a studio by Stanley Kubrick, then, people's memories of that are false memories. right? Or they're memories of something that was just staged anyway. But listen to this. NASA wants your memories of the Apollo 11 moon landing. What? It hopes to document the cultural experience of space exploration. This doesn't make any sense. Somebody's trying to put together an algorithm, an AI algorithm, so that they can get data on how to create a more effective simulation to sell to people in the future when they get the guy, what was the guy that did Interstellar and all that? Yeah. Getting him to do some of that stuff in the future. This is weird. Were you fortunate enough to watch the Apollo 11 moon landing as it happened or know someone who did? NASA wants to hear from you. It recently launched a story program that asked the public to submit audio recordings of their Apollo 11 memories in a bid to create an oral history of the event in sync with its 50th anniversary, which is this year. And it coincides with the 20th anniversary of the film Eyes Wide Shut, because Stanley Kubrick had it in his contract that that movie would be released that day. All you have to do is record a story or interview. Shorter ones are preferred. Email it and details to a special address, apollostories@mail.nasa.gov, and check your inbox in case NASA wants a follow-up. There are suggested questions if you're not sure what to ask. I'd like to know what the suggested questions are. You have until the end of 2019 to submit recordings, although you'll have your best chance of making it onto the official audio series if you send your file before June 14th. Longer clips may be reserved for the web or social networks. There's a certain amount of publicity in this for NASA, especially now that it's aiming to return people to the moon by 2024. Nonetheless, the Crowdsource History Project shows just how far technology has come in nearly 50 years. When Apollo 11 touched down, viewers usually had to be content sharing their experiences with whoever was in earshot. Now, anyone with a smartphone, which is exponentially more powerful than Apollo 11's computers, can potentially share their anecdotes with the entire planet. And that's it. That's all they give you. No information on what. This is data mining, man. This is some weird shit. This is some shit they're trying to feed into an AI algorithm to take firsthand observations and accounts from people who were around when the fake moon landings happen and use that data to better make their simulations more believable. That's crazy shit, man. That is crazy shit. Space stunner. Moon is shrinking. Shocking study reveals. According to a new research study, the moon may be shrinking as it experiences lunar quakes known as moonquakes. That's a real fucking original name. Just the way they framed it, too. Sounds like something you'd hear somebody on some fucking DJ or say, you can experience this lunar quakes known as moonquakes. Oh, real fucking original name there, Jack. Researchers analyzed 28 moonquakes. Folks, I got moonquakes in my pants every time I go eat enchiladas with cheese. And we're going to get Pontos and Watson in here and see if he can figure out how to keep these moonquakes from going on every time I eat enchiladas. So we got some Jugal and some dick pills in here for you, too. So go on and bring those in. The movement of crustal plates as opposed to impacts from asteroids or rumblings inside the celestial satellite. We think it's very likely these 8 quakes are produced by fault slipping as stress built up in the lunar crust was compressed by global contraction and tidal forces, indicating that the Apollo seismometers recorded the shrinking moon and the moon is still tectonically active. Well, there's also the hollow moon thing. Actually, there was, I think it was Popular Mechanics, Popular Science, one of those. Article from the early 70s that Wernher von Braun wrote, where he talked about, when they landed on the moon, that it rang and shook like a bell because it's hollow inside. There's definitely something going on here. All of a sudden, For years they pushed back and pushed it back, said we couldn't get back to the moon. Now all of a sudden everybody's trying to get there. The main thing is what I've talked about with all the space-based weapons, and that's the main thing now. But it's going to be interesting to see what Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos do with their space stuff, and it's going to be interesting to see if these guys, start figuring out stuff like, hey, wait a minute, none of our stuff works. We can't get past this. But I think that they're going to probably wait until they're going to fucking do some stupid shit, like send some fucking people out there, passive Van Allen radiation belts, trying to go to Mars, to the moon, or whatever, and they're going to die. They're not even going to make it back, probably maybe not even make it there. That's what's going to happen. And then people are going to start really asking questions about the whole fucking moon thing originally. The whole idea that we were watching the moon landing happen on TV is just ridiculous. Did people really think that even before the advent of satellite TV communications technology and stuff like that, that we had the ability to beam back in real time to shoot? Number one, they didn't have video back then. Okay? Anything that you shot would have been shot on film, had been brought back to Earth and then processed. Yet people believe that they watched moon landings happen live on TV in 1969. It's preposterous. It doesn't require you to believe in outlandish conspiracy theories to know that that's preposterous and impossible. One saw set for men. Dude, they did not have the technological ability to have somebody over there with a fucking camera, which would have been huge and massive even if they did have it back then, and then beam those images back to Earth in real time with no delay. And that people, Americans believe, I watched Apollo moon landing, I watched it when I was a kid, I saw it happen live. People say the same thing about Kennedy. I saw it live. I saw Kennedy get shot on TV. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. It didn't happen. They didn't show Kennedy getting assassinated live on TV, but there are still people out there that believe they saw Kennedy. I remember the day it happened. I saw it on TV. I saw Kennedy get shot live on TV. No, you didn't. We didn't even get the Zapruder footage until years after the shooting actually took place. But yet there are still people, same as people believe, I saw the moon landing, I saw it happen live on TV when we landed on the moon. You couldn't have even gotten film there and back without it being exposed by the radiation and being completely useless. I mean, that's the whole thing. To me, in essence, that wraps up the whole thing as far as like the whole moon thing. There was no technology available to where you could have beamed that. I mean, look at Live Aid in 1985 was the world's first, global broadcast satellite event. They absolutely did not have, because again, you didn't have video technology, didn't come around until the 70s. And even that you wouldn't have been able to use because you're still talking about something that uses magnetic tape to record onto. Now, you could get a digital camera. If you had digital technology, you could probably get a digital camera. You could definitely get a digital camera there and back. But why haven't they done that? You ever notice it with all these videos we get, supposedly that come from whatever, the footage is always on like shit cameras, even though we've had amazing camera technology for a long time? How come nobody sent just a little rover thing with a 4K camera on it to the moon and just remotely controlled it around? Oh, we don't have that kind of technology. Oh, we don't? But we had the technology to broadcast footage live from the surface back to fucking... I mean, it's ridiculous that people believe that. I hate it when people say we didn't go to the moon. I know we went to the moon. It was real. I saw it. I was there with my mom and dad watching it on TV in 1969. I saw it live. I saw Kennedy get shot live, too. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Dude, there are people that really actually fucking say that shit. It's not a joke. People fucking say it. I saw it live. No, we could have already set things up to the moon to walk around. Hey, get 4K footage, get some on the ground. You know, no, I haven't done that. And anytime you see footage from like the space, anything from space, it's always from like the shittiest cameras ever. You're like, dude, y'all got way better cameras than that. So now it's shrinking, huh? Ain't that some shit? Parents set up camera in teen Redditor's room after catching him masturbate. That's fucked up. An Alaska teen on Reddit, it's probably fake if it's on Reddit then, is seeking legal advice after his parents set up security cameras in his bedroom and bathroom to make sure he no longer masturbates. That's fucked up. This kid should probably chop his parents up with a machete or something. I'm not suggesting you do that, but, it could be it could be one way out of it. That's fucked up, though. Let the kid fucking hit his shit. God damn. You bunch of hypocrites. Y'all were hitting your shit when you were 15. Let the boy hit his shit. If he's not fucking spanking it in your bedroom and coming on your fucking sheets or your fucking pillows, then why are you worried about it? It's natural human behavior. Let the kid beat his shit. How many fucking, how many new cases am I going to have to take on here? We already got support Nye. He's the ass guy. He got fucking free. Now we're going to have to fucking free the Alaskan masturbator. Which, by the way, that's your new name now. I dubbed the Alaskan masturbator. Like there already ain't every single person. I mean, listen, Alaska, what else is there to do up there? Except look at moose and beat off. There's not, what else is there to do? He wrote that his parents have taboo beliefs regarding sexual activities before marriage, but learned that some things off the internet because he wasn't even allowed to be in sexual education class. My dad barged in. Goddamn. My dad barged in with that dog and started screaming at me, and he and my mom sat me down and told me I'm not allowed to touch myself. Yeah, you are allowed to touch yourself. That's fucked up. There are all kinds of loopholes. There are loopholes for that. One loophole is called anal. That's how you get around the whole sex before marriage thing. You want to know what the loophole is? It's a hole. The butthole. That's the loophole. That's it right there. Get you a girl, put it in her butt, and then your parents can't say anything about, you having premarital sex. But let the kid beat off. Jesus Christ. What the fuck kind of, what are they? It doesn't say what they are. It doesn't say if they're, are they Muslims? Are they Jews? What are they? What religion doesn't let you beat off? That's what I want to know. Make sure you steer clear of that. It's beating off. Come on. You can't be with the one you love the one you're with. You know what I'm saying? Everybody beats their shit. Beating your shit ain't no fucking big thing. That's why we got all these school shootings and shit like this. People got that pent-up fucking nut butter in there. You don't have to get a fucking release every now and again. Shit goes to your fucking brains, fucks your head up, man. Makes you go fucking nuts. You got to release the fucking nut butter every now and again. In fact, hey, I'm due. Anyone want to help me out with that? Any ladies out there? No, I'm kidding. That's fucked up, though. You know what you should do, kid? You should put fucking hidden cameras. You can get them cheap on Amazon. Get some hidden cameras, set them up in their bedroom, and catch your parents doing some fucking freaky shit. Like fucking dad just in there, fucking just fucking raw dogging mom up the butt, fucking fish hooking her and smacking her ass and shit. To put that shit on the internet. See how fucking fast them motherfuckers calm down about you beating off. Oh, dude, that's what you do. Set up some hidden cameras. Catch mom and dad doing some dirty shit. And fucking mom begging to have her fucking booty pounded and fucking, oh, yeah. Just all kinds of shit. Oh, do you like that bitch? If they're like Middle East, I don't know. He doesn't say. They could be white for all I know. I just think it would be funny if they were like some repressive Middle Eastern religion and, you call it like the Indian dad. Oh, do you like that? Do you like that bitch? I smack your ass. That would just be hilarious. What else we got? Will political correctness kill classic movies? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I heard they were coming out with like a new version of Archie Bunker or something. Or like a reboot of It's like, dude, really? How bad is that going to suck? It should be canceled before it even fucking gets shot. Give me a break. Y'all going to try to redo Archie Bunker in this day and age? Hey, listen, unless Archie Bunker is dropping N-bombs, calling black folks the N-word, fucking calling Jews kikes, calling everybody fags. Unless it's got that in it, it ain't fucking All in the Family, and it ain't Archie Bunker. I mean, that was the whole point of that show originally. It wasn't just to have some fucking bigoted asshole on TV. But that shit was great, though. What a fucking, remember he's going after Meathead all the time? Calling him a kike and fucking dropping M-bombs everywhere. I don't know. I don't get it. They already cut stuff out of all these, they cut stuff out of these classic shows now. I've talked about that clip from The Jeffersons before. You can see it on YouTube. And now if you see that episode on TV or anything, that clip's cut out where Louise Jefferson is there with George Jefferson and his son, and he's like, I bought him this new watch, So, that's a nice watch. How much did it cost? Like, it costs a little bit, but it's worth it. Well, how much did it cost? And finally he tells you $500. And Louise Jefferson goes, $500 for a watch? Nigga, please. And the whole fucking studio audience, just erupts. Explodes. Explodes, man. Can you imagine being at home watching that, like, as it was going on? And now that's too hot for TV. Isn't that hilarious? Nothing hateful in that whatsoever. It's really just an expression and being real about black culture, especially in the 1970s. That was it would have been a common response for a black woman in the 1970s when her husband says he just bought their son a $500 watch. It used to be a $2,000 watch this day and age. What else? There's all kinds of stuff like that. They've gone back and taken out that was okay, that made it past the strict censors of the 1970s, but now we're so snowflaked out in 2019, we can't handle Louise Jefferson saying nigga please anymore about a watch. It just makes no sense. There was one episode too of Three's Company where like Jack Tripper like jumped over a couch. Remember Jack Tripper at Three's Company? He was fucking. You know what I didn't understand about that show when I was a kid when it was on. That makes sense, or that actually made sense to me now. Made sense once I became an adult. I never realized this, and a lot of people don't. I'll talk to people about this before. They're like, oh, really? That. The reason that, because I always wondered, I always thought Jack Tripper was gay. Because everybody kind of tried to make it seem like, hey, he's living with these two hot chicks. Well, how come he's not banging them out, He's got to be gay. Well, and now I get the jokes. If I ever see like an old episode of Three's Company or something, I get the jokes. Because the whole thing with that show is that back in those days in the 70s, it's not like it is now. People don't, it's not like it's been for 20 or 30 years, but now you can just, nobody cares if you've got a roommate that's of the opposite sex. None of that even matters. Nobody even cares if you're living with a girl or girlfriend. I can remember when I first moved in with my first girlfriend when I was like 19 or 20. And, you know, we weren't married, didn't have any plans on being married, but I can remember getting a little blowback from the old folks even then, and just thought it was total outdated and weird. But the whole thing with Three's Company was that Jack Tripper was acting like he was a gay guy so that he could get away with splitting the rent with two women, and nobody thinking that there was any, you know, because a guy living with two chicks, automatically you think, all right, well, this is some freaky three-way action here. Anyway, there was an episode where he jumped over the couch or something, had those fucking, you know, what do you call them? Plum smugglers. Fucking shorts, fucking plum smuggler shorts, fucking, you know, dick cutter shorts. And he jumps over the fucking back of the couch or something, and a fucking fat Jack Tripper nut just comes out the side of his shorts like crystal clear. They cut that shit out too. I guess I get that, but the Louise Jefferson thing, I don't get, you know. The rise of political correctness can be seen across movie screens this weekend. The Hustle, a gender swap remake of 1988's Dirty Rotten Scoundrels. Oh, is that what? I had no idea. I wouldn't have watched that movie anyway. But again, everything, even if they don't say something's a reboot or a remake now, it's a reboot or a remake of something else. Rails against the patriarchy between sight gags. Avengers Endgame shoehorns a minor gay character into the story as a super virtue signal. Actually, that actually has to do with something that's coming later on, as most things in Marvel does. I think that's kind of a bit of a reach. Hey, Marvel had a fucking Ira back in the 90s, early 90s. I had the comic book. North Star. It was a character named North Star. He was the first gay character in a comic book. And people are acting like it's some big deal because there was one little scene in there with a guy that, you know, talked about going on a date with another man. That's one little part in the movie. I don't know. I don't think that was an agenda. I think that was foreshadowing. I'm not going to ruin it, but that's some foreshadowing for stuff that's going to be coming. I don't know if they're going to roll out North Star, but they're definitely going to be rolling out some kind of a homosexual superhero. But again, that was there way back then. Way back in the 90s, that was there. They had that already, so. But yeah, people are already getting tired of it. They're going to try all this shit. They're going to continue to try to make everything, Marxist, communist, socialist world. But, that's the other conversation too. That's what none of these fucking bullshit lying politicians, left, right, center, whatever. I just get tired of this stuff where, okay, capitalism's bad, but what's the solution to it? Well, the solution is socialist, communist. Like, no, fucking no. I'm so tired of this. Well, then we'll just keep the system the way it is and keep it broken. Why can't there be a mixture of the two? I mean, obviously, I don't know. That's why I'm not into politics. I just get tired of this. Well, this one thing's bad, so we need to do away with it. What are we going to replace it with? Something that's 20 times worse. The solution to something that's bad, or the other solution is we don't change it at all. We just keep the system the way it already is, broken as it may be. I mean, this can't be the constant state that we continually find ourselves in year after year after year after year after year in this world. There's got to be a solution other than keeping the way things are, been broken as it may be, or the flip side is we're going to bring socialist, communist, Marxism, this in, and this is the solution. Let's make it worse than it already is because, hey, at least that'll be fixing the broken system, right? I mean, only someone who wants to enslave you would have that mindset. There's just no question about it. Listen here, before I get on with the rest of this news, I got some more stuff to talk about here with some more news stories to cover here for you on the show. Before I do that, I need to update you on our fundraising. Efforts for the month. Oh, God, we got cut off again. I think I'm back now. Crap. I don't even know where I was at. That sucks. I don't even remember where I was at now. I lost some. I don't know what happened. The whole thing shut down on me. Luckily, I didn't lose the hour I've already recorded here. Crap. I don't know if some of these stories that I talked about even got recorded or not. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, I was just basically about to talk about the fundraising efforts and whatnot. Damn it. Anyway, we had 160 came up short last week. I got to keep the lights and everything on here. I don't remember who the person was. It said, "Oh, they can't cut your electricity off until it's like months after due." That's bullshit. Mine was off. Mine was like 2 weeks overdue, like last month or something, and they shut my shit off. So whoever gave me that information, that was bad fucking info, because they will shut. They can't shut your shit off. Bullshit. That you can send me links to say, "Oh, the law says this or that." You think that fucking matters? This motherfucker shut my shit off. It was barely like a week and a half, 2 weeks last time. So I got to keep the lights on in the studio here. I got to keep the electricity and the power on. So, we really need to raise a minimum of 300 by tomorrow. 500 for the week would be great. Listen, we've got all kinds of great deals going on. Like extend the archive deal. You want to get a lifetime archive membership, which is usually $500. You can get one for $400 right now. Or I got a deal where you can get one for only $328. If you don't already have a pre-existing membership, go buy yourself a 3-month, and then go contribute $300 to the operating cost fundraiser, and I'll upgrade your 3-month to a lifetime for a grand total of $328. What else? We got a lot of multi-pack deals. Man, it's just frustrating. I had like 20 minutes worth of the show got cut off. I don't know how or why it did it. So fucking weird. Everything was rolling, recording perfectly. I didn't touch anything, didn't hit anything. It's fucking weird. Worst timing too. God damn. Because now I don't know. It's just frustrating. Lose the momentum. Anyway. Now I'm flabbergasted. I don't even know where to go. Regardless of that, because I just hate it when I have to say shit again. It's hard for me to repeat and say stuff the way I already said it. Because I said this before, and I guess it got cut off or not recorded or whatever. So that's frustrating. I don't know. I don't even know what I was even talking about now. This is so frustrating. I was talking about a bunch of moon stuff. I don't know how much of that got in or didn't get in. It's funny how whenever I start talking about certain subjects is when weird stuff starts happening. It used to happen all the time back when we used to do the show on the live stream. I mean, every single night. That's why I had to quit doing it. Because whenever they knew, because I used to do a show, that's why I don't do shows at a set time or a set day. I just do them randomly. I had to start. That's not just something I just did for shits and giggles. I had to start doing it that way because they knew every time right when I was going to go on, and they'd mess with my broadcast. Man, it's just frustrating. God damn. I hate that. Well. I guess I'll just move on now. And I lost my whole momentum of what I was talking about with the whole fundraising efforts too. One of my listeners said, why does it seem like some people, they will support you 1 month, but they won't support you the next month, Well, there's a lot, it feels sometimes like I've got to walk on these invisible eggshells, with a blindfold on. And it sucks that this mindset, this mainstream mindset now of people just getting so butthurt about any little thing. You know, people are just so spineless these days. God. Grow some fucking thicker skin, people. And it just sucks to see that sort of mindset creep into, you know, people's attitudes towards what I do. You know, oh, it's all well and fine and I'll support you until you start talking about some info that is contradictory to what I believe, and then now you're the enemy, and so I'm going to unsubscribe to your channel, or I'm not going to donate or something because, oh, you know, you offended me or you said something. Look, I mean, if you have that kind of mindset, you're dead already. You might as well not even be listening to my show or anybody else's or so-called seeking truth at all, because it's not always going to be comfortable, and it's not always going to be what you want to hear. And I've never, and I never will be one of those people that just gets up here and tells you what you want to hear. I'm going to give you the truth. I'm going to shoot it to you straight. And if that makes you butthurt, that's your problem, not mine. But, you know, the shit where people are like trying to punish me now, it's just ridiculous. Like I said, you know, I've had more problems, and the biggest issues and problems that we have don't come from the powers that be. They come from the people that are supposedly, you know, supposed to be our supporters. I had a lot of other shit I talked about. I completely lost all my fucking momentum because I was sitting here performing. You know, when I do this, it's a performance. You know, I have to gut up. This is not easy for me to do. You hear these fucking hack-ass stand-up comedians like Joe Rogan and others talking all the time. Oh, we have to come up with a whole hour's worth of material every year. It's so tough. Motherfucker, I have to come up with new fucking material every fucking night. Every fucking day. Go back and listen to my last 5 shows or 10. Listen, nobody hits it with more pertinent shit on the regular than I do. And I hear these fucking, oh, stand-up comedy's so hard. Yeah, it's hard because you're a moron. That's why. I already fucking went through this once and nobody heard it, so I'll do my best to go through it again, I guess. Doris Day. Doris Day died. She's another one of those people that's is a clone and got cloned, and they covered it up and replaced her with another person, and that person became Doris Day, and that person was Doris Day for so long, nobody's questioned it. The same thing with Paul McCartney. The replacement Paul, same thing with B.B. King. Go back and look at the early, listen to the early B.B. King records and look at the early B.B. King pictures. It's not the same guy. That person had a multiple record deal. They had to fulfill the contracts. In order to fulfill the contracts and there not be a bunch of money lost and a bunch of people having to give back money from advances and stuff that got paid out, they simply replaced him with another guy, and that replacement guy, you know, took on the name B.B. King, and he became the B.B. King that's known. That's the thing. Doris Day, B.B. King. I mean, again, that goes back to that John Lennon song that the fake Paul had taken out of when he did his little, was it called Let It Be Naked or Let It Be Stripped or whatever it was, where he wanted to take out, where he did and wanted to take out all the Phil Spector production because he was trying to erase Phil Spector from the Beatles' historical record, because John Lennon was very close with Phil Spector and told him all about the replacement Paul stuff. And he'd said a bunch of negative stuff about Phil Spector before all the stuff happened with the shooting and all that. And Phil Spector threatened to out him. Go look at the date when that Let It Be Stripped or whatever came out, and go look at the dates of what happened with Phil Spector and the shooting and his arrest and all that. It all lines up. It's all happened around the same time. They set Phil Spector up on that murder charge and had him imprisoned, almost the same reasons they did to Suge Knight, to shut him up and to discredit him. That's exactly what they did. Even the people in the trial, the forensic evidence proved there's no way he could have shot that woman. And when the fake Paul Fall wanted to do his Let It Be Stripped thing, that was one of the things he wanted stripped out, was not only the Phil Spector production, But the John Lennon intro where he's naming off, he's referencing, he's trying to give people clues towards the replacement Paul. So what's he doing? To the tune of Bob Dylan's Like a Rolling Stone, which, by the way, Bob Dylan is another one that was said to have died and was replaced by another guy. So it's the tune of Like a Rolling Stone. He's, like the CIA, like the FBI, like Doris Day, B.B. King, Matt Busby. You can look up all those people. Look up Matt Busby, cloned. Matt Busby, replaced. Look it up. And, Doris Day was another one of those. Doris Day left instructions in her will that she is to have no funeral, as her manager says Starr had difficulty accepting death. Yeah, she wants, she left specific instructions in her will that she would not have a funeral or any commemoration of any kind. No funeral, no memorial, and no grave marker. Now think about that. One of the top stars in the world, beloved by many. Why wouldn't she want to have a grave where people could come visit? Because she knew she wasn't the real one. And she didn't want people coming and visiting the grave of a fake Doris Day. Because the old Doris Day died a long time ago. That's exactly why. Man, all this stuff ties into, my Spellcasters 2 and 3 work. I mean, her son is Terry Melcher. Terry Melcher was a producer that worked with the Beach Boys. You remember he was with Sharon Tate, the Tate murder thing, Manson. Listen, man, that's what people don't get. I'm over here fighting an army of 800-pound gorillas, and I'm one person trying to do all this, not even on a shoestring budget, on pennies, with 10-year-old equipment and doing it by myself. Why do you think these movies and all this shit are taking so long? You have no idea the shit I've uncovered, the web of shit I've uncovered, how many years. I mean, I'm connecting shit from like pre-Grateful Dead all the way through LSD, MK Ultra, all the way through the Grateful Dead, the 60s, the Beach Boys, the Beatles, Phil Spector, the 70s, connecting all that shit and weaving all through the 70s, through Ozzy, the Black Sabbath, connecting it with Courtney Love, all through into the 90s and with Nirvana. You can't even fucking imagine. And trying to do all this. Listen, I know people wanted these movies to come out. If I had a stack of cash and brand new equipment and a team of people and it was still taking this long, I would get it. But people have no idea. If it was easy to make a film connecting all of these things, someone would have already done it before me. The reason it takes so long is because, number one, nothing of this magnitude has ever been attempted by anybody ever. And if it has, they failed and didn't get it out. And I ain't going to fail. I mean, people can't even wrap their minds around how deep this shit is, man. It's like I was talking about earlier, with our email we got from a listener. Sometimes I don't even want to talk about some of this shit because it sounds so crazy. But what I'm doing here with Spellcasters 2 and 3, absolutely, ladies and gentlemen, has never been done before. No one has ever connected and shown these connections through all these years like I have and seamlessly connected it together. And I've done it with, I'm trying to make it every week. I'm trying to keep the lights in the internet on this week. Trying to raise it measly $300 just to do that. Listen, this shit is fucking insane. And if this was easy to do, there'd already be 20 movies out about this. I mean, I'm in territory here, and I've uncovered things nobody has connected yet. But it takes time, and I'm not going to rush it out and then be sitting around 2 or 3 years from now, wishing I would have taken my time, wishing I would have rushed it out because I didn't get in certain pieces and elements. I'm not going to put this thing out until all the elements and all the connections and everything is there, and so it seamlessly connects from the beginning to the end. That's and make sure that I get all because this is so fucking mind-blowing, and it's so important for people to understand, because it's just been going on under the nose of everybody, of the entire world, while we've been distracted by all this other bullshit. So don't get it twisted. The work that I'm doing on these films is the most important work I've ever done. And it's coming soon. It's going to be done real soon, but it's not easy, and it's difficult to do when you're just trying to survive and keep the lights on. And you got shit like this where I'm getting my fucking shows stopped and interfered with in the middle of the show. God damn, it's frustrating. Who knows? I don't even know how this show would have been 20 or 30 minutes longer had we not even got all that shit cut out. And I already closed out of the news articles where I got to them. So frustrating. I'm going to leave it there. Listen, I love you guys. And, let the dead bury the dead. The ones who weren't going to stand with me weren't going to stand with me anyway. And I don't like to worry about them anymore. I only want to worry about you that stand with me and do want to support me and understand what I'm trying to do here with this work and this information. I appreciate you guys so much. I love you very much. I'm grateful to every single one of you. But go get some downloads from the download shop. Get yourself some of the new packages we've got with the Secret Rite remasters 1 and 2. We got Spellcasters 1 and 1.5 combo deals in there. We've got a deal where you can get the whole Mystery Hollywood deal for $40 instead of $50. And we've also got one that has Lost Secrets of Ancient America 1 and 2. So go hit the download shop, get some downloads, check those packages, spread it around, and listen. If you can give a couple of bucks, give a couple of bucks. If you can give 100, give 100. If you can give 300, give 300. If you can give 1,000 or 2,000, do that. But we just need a serious, operating war chest here and not scraping by on pennies every week so I can get all this stuff and get it out, because it's going to blow your fucking minds once I'm done. And I'm getting close. I'm frustrated from this. Almost a lot of the show got lost tonight, but hey, nonetheless, I love you guys, and we'll see you next time. Take care.